case you can't tell, we're talking about balancing this morning. There's a fine art to balancing, and it's an important skill to learn, but you need to remember that just because you balanced and you followed all the rules, once in a while, it may not work. It may not work at all. So a lot of times the bidding starts one of a suit, pass, and you're sitting there in the fourth chair. And if you don't do something, that means the auction is going to die at a very low level. Unless your hand is very, very weak, it's usually wrong to pass in that situation. If your hand is very, very weak and your right-hand opponent passed as a responder, he doesn't have 6 points. Your partner didn't have a suitable bid, basically, is all you know. He might have an opening hand and can't bid no trump because he's doesn't have a heart stop, or can't use a takeout double because he has too many hearts, one of those things. But in many cases, your partner has some value. If he doesn't, that means the opening bidder has a great big old hand. And if you're very weak, then you probably want to pass. You don't want to give him another opportunity to bid. So looking at this hand, this example here, I should clarify first before I go further. What exactly is the balancing seat? Well, if you think about opener's seat, the next person to bid is called the person sitting in the direct seat. This is where most takeout doubles occur or overcalls occur, is in this direct seat. Of course, the partner of the opening bidder is called the responder, and he sits in the third chair. The person sitting to the right of the opening bidder is said to be sitting in the balancing seat. You've got direct seat and balancing seat. The rules for bidding in the balancing seat are a bit different than what they are in the direct seat. Because if you don't bid here, the auction is going to die. Now, if the responder had bid something, now all of a sudden you're not balancing. If you bid, you're promising something to your partner. You're promising that you have the values to do that. Balancing is the action that you take when the auction is going to die unless you take some action. So for instance, with this hand right here, if you were sitting in the direct seat, you only have 10 high card points and the doubleton heart. You do have 4 spades and you have at least 3 card support for all the unbid suits, which is what you need for takeout doubles, right? But you're not strong enough. When you use a takeout double, you promise an opening hand. This one is not an opening hand. So if you were sitting in the direct seat, you would pass with this hand. But when you're sitting in the balancing seat, now all of a sudden, you need to take some action. There's a good chance that your partner has some values. We know that the responder does not have 6 points here. You have 11. There's a reasonable chance that or 10, forgot what I said it was, 10, yeah. There's a good chance that your partner has some values. You would never double for takeout with this in the direct seat, but a double in the balancing seat here is very, very appropriate. In effect, what you are doing is bidding your hand and a portion of your partner's hand. You are borrowing, usually it's said to be a king or 3 high card points from your partner in order to bid when you bid in the balancing seat. With 10 points, if you borrow 3 from your partner, then you have 13. That's more than enough to reopen with a takeout double here. This keeps the opponents from buying the contract too cheaply. Allowing the opponents to play in low-level contracts is not generally winning bridge. So when you use a takeout double, you have borrowed a king from your partner's hand to do so. 1 no trump now shows 11 to 14. about a king less than what you would use to overcall one no trump or open one no trump. You can bid one no trump with a stop in the suit that the opener bid and 11 to 14 high card points. For instance, here, one diamond by your left-hand opponent, pass, one no trump shows 11 to 14 high card points and a stop in the suit that was open. If you have a normal one no trump opening, you double first and then bid one no trump or no trump at the cheapest level. When you have the normal opening one no trump, you have to double first and then bid no trump at the cheapest level. Because when you bid one no trump in the balancing seat, that shows 11 to 14 high card points. And by the way, most pairs play that statement and transfers are on over a balancing one no trump. Just remember, if you're going to use stamen, that you need to add a couple of points. You need to have about 10 points to use stamen rather than 8, simply because your partner has fewer points than the normal one no trump opener does. Now, one club, pass, pass. Now, in the direct seat here, you would overcall one no trump with this hand. It has 18 points in it. Remember, most no trump overcalls are 15 to 18. But it's too strong to bid one no trump in the balancing seat. With 18 points, it's much too strong to bid one no trump in the balancing seat. Double first and then bid no trump at the cheapest level. Now, if you use a one no trump overcall as 15 to 17, you're going to have to double and then jump a level in no trump to show the 18-point no trump. I play 15 to 18 no trump overcalls because I think that works better in the balancing situation. If my partner really doesn't have much, and he couldn't have very much, if I have 18 and the opening bidder has an opening hand, my partner and the other player are sharing what's left. So I like to be able to rebid one no trump with an 18-point no trumpy hand there when I have it in the balancing seat. I don't carry that on to 19. If I have 19 or more, then I will double first and then jump a level in the balancing seat only. Now, here's another example of balancing one no trump. Marty Ronimus told me one time, and I think she has this in print in several places. She likes to tell her students to be members of the Clint Eastwood School of Bidding. It's better to drink bleach than to let the opponents play at a low level when they have found a fit. So you want to do everything you can to keep them from being able to play at a low level. Now, we know right here that East doesn't have 6 points. Partner opened a club. If he had 6 points, he'd bid something. So he doesn't have 6 points. You tend to think here in this situation that North has a pretty good hand, has some values, because and just didn't have a suitable bid. Remember, pass doesn't really always mean that you're weak. It just may mean that you have no suitable bid. Not the right shape for a takeout double, doesn't have a club stop or enough points for a one no trump overcall, doesn't have a 5-card suit to overcall. There are any number of reasons why North would have values and not be able to bid here. So what you want to do here is not let this die at the one club level. What you're doing in essence is protecting your partner's points. Partner evidently did not have a suitable bid. Now, is it possible that West has a great big old hand and is just waiting for somebody to reopen so he can bid again? Yeah, it's possible. But most of the time, the situation is that North has values and no suitable bid. There are no guarantees in this game, and certainly balancing is one area where you take some risk It takes a little nerve to bid on fewer points than what you've been taught that you need to do so. But in this kind of situation, you don't want to let the opponent steal a low-level contract if you can find a bid. This hand has 14 high card points in it. It has clubs well in hand. Now we can bid 3, or we can take 3 from our partner's hands, and now all of a sudden we have a very nice 1 no trump. We have 11 to 14 high card points, so 1 no trump can hit the table just because we borrowed 3 points from partner's hand. Now here's another example of no trump bidding in the balancing seat. This is one bid that confuses a lot of people. A lot of people use the unusual 2 no trump in the direct seat. If this had gone 1 spade 2 no trump, that would show 5-5 in the 2 lowest unbid suits for most people. That would be clubs and diamonds. Now, you have to have the right suits to use the unusual 2 no trump, but boy, when you have the right suits and a lovely 2-suited hand, you can get both bids off your chest with just 1 turn at the bidding. So doubling first and then bidding 1 no trump shows 15 to 18 in the balancing seat. Bidding 2 no trump shows a better hand. This is not unusual in the balancing seat. If you have a hand that would be suitable for the unusual 2 no trump, bid your higher ranking suit first. So in this case, you would have clubs and diamonds if you had the unusual 2 no trump. So South would just bid the higher ranking suit, 2 diamonds first. If he's lucky, he'll get the opportunity to show his clubs later. But in the balancing seat, 2 no trump is not unusual. It shows a good hand, one that is stronger than doubling and then bidding no trump to show the 15 to 18. This one typically will have the 2 no trump opener here, 19, a good 19 to a ratty 21. Now then, jump bids in the balancing seat should show a self-sufficient suit. This also is not the same as jumping in the direct seat. In the direct seat, 1 diamond, 2 spades is the equivalent of a weak 2 opener. Just ignore that opening bid and say, partner, I'd have opened 2 spades if this guy hadn't bid. But in the balancing seat, it should show something like this hand here that's on this slide. It has an opening hand, but it has a self-sufficient suit, and you're within 1 trick of what you bid. For instance, 1 club, pass, 3 diamonds. This hand will produce 8 tricks. So contract for 9. Partner will know that you're within 1 trick of your bid when you jump in the balancing seat here. It's hard to do sometimes, but look how good this suit is. This is a 7-card diamond suit. And my goodness, you got 14 high card points. It's not hard to see that 3 diamonds could be very successful here. And if partner has the right kind of hand with club stopped, he might bid no trump. You never know. So here's another example. 1 club by West, North passes, East passes, South bids 1 no trump. Now, he has 14 high card points. This is the hand that borrowed 3 points from his partner's hand and bid 1 no trump. What happens when the bidding comes back around to North? Well, he doesn't have a 4 or 5 card major suit, so systems are not appropriate here. But he does have 10 high card points. It's important to remember that this partner, South, has borrowed 3 points from your hand to bid 1 no trump. Therefore, 10 points is not enough to bid 3 no trump with. Your hand now is really only 7 points. So you need to pass 1 no trump. Partner could be bidding on as few as 11 high card points here. With your 10, 1 no trump ought to be made easily, and you might get lucky and make 2. It's not terribly likely on 21 high card points, but you might. Now, in this case, partner has 14 and you have 10. You are totally safe at 2 no trump, but if you invite, you're telling partner that you have about 12 points. Remember, you need to subtract 3 points from your hand before you respond to a bid in the balancing seat. A lot of people call the balancing seat the protection seat because it protects partner's points. Notice that North has 10 points. He doesn't have a suit to overcall. He's much too long in clubs to even think about a double, and he has no call here at all. If he had an extra diamond, he could overcall 1 diamond, but he doesn't have it. So he passes. It is up to partner to protect his points by balancing when he can. He has the clubs well controlled, borrows 3 points. His hand is now worth 17. And 1 no trump is really appropriate for that. And it's entirely possible that the opening bidder can have a big old hand like 19 points, or a 2 no trump opener that's not balanced, and so he couldn't open 2 no trump, and he might be getting ready to jump. Well, he'll compete further if he has a big hand, or he might pass and try to set you. Once in a while, you may have a bad result, but statistics show that balancing in this kind of situation has about an 80% success rate. In other words, you come out better about 80% of the time if you will balance. Now, there are several ways to play bidding suits in the balancing seat. Some people play that when you have an opening hand, you just double first and then bid your suit. That shows, hey, partner, I have a full opening hand and this is my suit. It's not the same as the big double. Notice if you double and originate in the direct seat, that shows a hand that is too strong for a simple overcall. Whatever you and your partner have decided is the maximum for your overcalls, this hand has more than that in it. And this is my suit. I did not promise you support for all unbid suits here, even though you thought I did, because advancer should assume that it's a common garden variety takeout double until he knows otherwise. But shape does not figure into the big double at all. What you're doing here is just showing a hand that has too many high card points in it for you to use a simple overcall per your partnership agreement. And you're asking for support from partner for your suit. Now, if your partner is really, really weak, he can pass, but you're showing a good hand here. So with support and some values, you should bid on. Other people will say, well, if you got 8 to 16 points or so, just bid your suit. That's a pretty wide range, and it can be hard for partner to tell just exactly what you have. So in some respects, doubling first and then bidding your suit to show an opening hand may be better. But the problem is if you double by the time it gets back around to you, the bidding may be high enough that you don't think it's appropriate and you never get your bid in. So you pays your money and you takes your choice in this situation on how you want to play it. You would never overcall 1 heart in the direct seat with 7 high card points and this ratty suit. But you don't want to let your left-hand opponent play 1 club. If partner doesn't have heart support, well, maybe he has 5 spades and just wasn't able to, for some reason, maybe he's got a really ratty suit like 5 spades to the 8 or something. Well, or the 9, since you've got the 8. But you're not going to get ahead letting left-hand opponent play 1 club here. You need to crowd him a little bit. Same thing here. This hand is not good enough for a 2-diamond overcall. Why isn't it good enough for a 2-diamond overcall? For crying out loud, I got 6 of them, and I've got 11 high card points. The thing is, when you overcall in the direct seat, you promise an opening hand. Now, some pairs may say, no, this hand doesn't have 11 points. This has 5. This has 9 high card points in it. Sorry. I was going to say with 11 and a 6-card suit, I'd probably bid 2 diamonds, and I'm pretty strict on my requirements for a 2-level overcall. This is 9 high card points, and you would never bid 2 diamonds in the balancing seat. You might think about 3 diamonds, but that would depend on the vulnerability. 3 diamonds would be preemptive. But when you bid 2 diamonds here in the direct seat, you're promising a full opening hand with 5 good diamonds in it, at least. But in the balancing seat, remember, we're going to borrow a king from partner's hand. That gives us 12 points now. And I'm willing to bid 2 diamonds in the balancing seat with this hand, when I would never do it in the direct seat. Never, ever. Now, in the direct seat, this hand is definitely good enough for a 2-heart overcall. It has 17 high card points in it, or 16, something like that. And some of you may even double first and then bid hearts with this hand. But this is much too strong for a 2-heart overcall here. Notice I can't bid no trump. I don't have a spade stop. So this hand needs to start with a double in the balancing seat. And some of you may start with a double in the direct seat even. This is a nice, nice hand. It's got 17 high card points in it, but you can't bid, you can't even double and bid no trump because you don't have a spade stop. Now, is there ever a time when you shouldn't bid in the balancing seat? Well, as a matter of fact, if you have a lot of strength in the opponent's suit, that's where a lot of your points are concentrated, particularly if he has opened a major suit and you're short in the other major suit, because you know that's what your partner's going to bid if you double, then a lot of times the best choice is to let the opponents play it. If you have a hand like this one that's shown and your left-hand opponent opens a heart, if you double, your partner is going to bid spades. At least my partners always bid spades. The rest of you may lead a better life than I do and have partners who bid clubs or something. But if I double or if I bid clubs, my partner is going to advance in spades. That's just the way my life goes. So in this instance, I would pass. I have length and strength in the opener suit, and I am very short in the other major. So I am not going to double. I'm not going to bid 2 clubs. My partner is very likely to have 4 nice spades over there and a decent hand and bid spades instead, particularly if he only has 2 or 3 clubs. This just has trouble written all over it to me. Notice how many of my points, 4 of my 10 high card points, are in the opponent's suit. This is not good. If I lead a heart trying to take a trick with either this king or the jack, guess who's sitting behind me with the heart suit? These points don't rate to be worth terribly much if I am playing this suit, or if I'm trying to play this hand. So this is an example of a hand where I would not balance. Okay, so the opponents have found a fit and they stopped in the 2 level. That's an indication that they've got a fit, but they've stopped. That means they've got about half the points in the deck. Now, if they've got half the points in the deck and they have a fit, you've got half the points in the deck, and the odds are you have a fit too somewhere. So it's usually right to balance and try to push them a level higher. What if they don't take the bait? You're sitting there at the 3 level and you don't have a snowball's chance of making it. Well, if you go down 2 tricks, not vulnerable, that's 100. If they were going to make 110, then you've come out on top. The only time you don't want to make a balancing double when the opponents have stopped at a low level is when you have a lot of your strength in their suit. Something like these examples that I've given here. 3 or 4 cards with a couple of honors at the top. I'm just not going to balance if I have this kind of holding in their suit. I would much rather be short in their suit. Now, if you can support at least 2 suits, double for takeout. And here is an example that's going to throw everybody. When the opponents have found a fit at the 2 level and they've stopped bidding, you've passed at least once, right? Your partner has passed. If you have both minors and you have at least 4-4 in those minor suits, 2 no trump asks your partner to pick a minor suit. It cannot be a natural bid. You have passed. 2 no trump cannot be natural. So let's look at some examples. The more examples we look at, the more sense this will make it for you. If North opens a heart, South, your partner passes, South opens or raises to 2 hearts, West passes. So East and West have both passed. North says, works for me. You've got a minimum response and I have a minimum opening hand. Let's play 2 hearts. East says, oh, no, you don't. Here's the East hand. You found a fit and you stopped at the 2 level. I'm not going to let you do that. Double. South passes. He had a minimum. He should not bid 3 hearts unless he has a 4th heart. In a competitive auction, the law of total tricks is a very handy guide to use. West now bids 2 spades. Well, it's only a 4-3 fit. Partner will be building some character here, playing this 4-3 fit. What's the worst thing that can happen? You go down 1 and 2, or you go down 2. Well, if they're making 2 hearts, going down 1 or 2 and 2 spades is a good deal, as long as you're not vulnerable. Got to remember, vulnerability counts. Will South bid on? Who knows? If he has a 4th heart, he should bid 3 hearts. Otherwise, he probably needs to pass. Or maybe he has 9 or 10 points. Maybe he's at the very top of his range here. It all depends on what he has. He knows his partner has a minimum opening hand because he did not bid on. He didn't use a help suit game try. He didn't bid 3 hearts to invite. He knows partner has a minimum opening hand. If he has 9 or 10 points, or if he has 4 hearts in his hand, he should compete. If he has neither one of those, he should look at the vulnerability and decide what's right. Here's another example. North opens a spade and South bids 2 spades. Comes back around to East and he's in the balancing seat. He can support 2 suits, one of which is the unbid major. That's a pretty good guideline to go by in this situation. Of course, his partner bids clubs. He can now bid 3 diamonds. He can now bid 3 diamonds. This is what's known as equal level conversion. You can double when you have support for at least 2 of the unbid suits, so long as one of the unbid suits is diamonds. I'm not going to go into this at great length because this is a more advanced topic, but this is the reason that you can double with support for only 2 of the suits, so long as it's the unbid major and diamonds. Now, here's an instance where you shouldn't balance. You have a very strong holding in the opponent's suit. That means that they have points elsewhere, doesn't it? They may have 8 cards between them, but a lot of their points are in some of the other suits because you've got 5 points. You've got half the points in their suit in your hand. This is an indication that you should just let them play 2 spades and try to beat it. Here's another example. Here's the use of the 2 no trump bid. 1 spade, 2 spades by north-south, 2 passes to east. Notice he has 5 clubs and 4 diamonds. He bids 2 no trump. If he tries to pick the better suit, he'll pick the wrong one. It's a virtual guarantee. 2 no trump says, partner, I have the minor suits. If he had hearts, he would double. Partner, I have the minor suits. Please pick your better one. They may end up playing a 4-3 set in diamonds, but in this case, notice West picks his longer minor suit. He knows his partner doesn't have hearts because he didn't double. So when partner tells you that he has both minors, you pick your longer one. And yeah, this means that the long trumps are going to be on the dummy, but that's okay. That's okay. 2 no trump here means, partner, I have at least 4 cards in each of the minor suits. Please pick. Here's another example that's a little less obvious. North opens a diamond, South bids a spade, and North bids 1 no trump. North doesn't have 4 spades, does he? South has a minimum responding hand because he doesn't bid on over 1 no trump. North has a minimum a 12 to 14 point opening hand. West is sitting here looking at a 6-card heart suit. He only has 8 high card points. What to do, what to do? Well, with a 6-card suit, he can afford to take a chance at the 2 level. And remember, you can almost guarantee that when you have 2 unbid suits, hearts and clubs, and you have a great long heart suit, guess which suit your partner's not going to lead? He's not going to lead your long one. He's going to lead his long one. You would like for him to lead a heart because you have 6 of them, not 4, not 5, but 6. So if the opponent's bid on over your 2 heart bid, oh, well, at least partner knows what to lead. And if they don't, you've got 6 cards in your suit. Odds are partner has at least 2. He might even have 3. Does this take nerve? You bet it takes nerve. And it takes a few mistakes and a few bad results to realize that you still have all your body parts after it's over with. Nobody came and chopped your head off. Partner may not have been very happy with you, but if you went down less than you would have given the opponents for letting them play 1 no trump, you went down 1 trick and it's 50 points. Well, hey, you got a good result. Partner will learn to love you for balancing in that situation. Here's another example. The opponents have not found a fit. 1 club pass, 1 heart pass, 2 clubs. Mr. South has a minimum responding hand. North has a minimum opening hand with 6 clubs in it. Pass, pass. West says double. Double. You know, I don't like this. I've got both unbid suits, length in both unbid suits, and I actually have 5 of the minor, which is a good thing. The double shows at least 4 of the unbid major and the unbid minor as well. East says, well, okay, of the 2, I think rather than 4-2, I think 4-3, if you've got just 4 diamonds, would be better. So he bids 2 diamonds. He bids the longer of his 2 unbid suits. There's one important distinction to remember here. You remember I have harped on the difference when you have a minimum responding hand and you have support. I have said support with support immediately. Even if you have 4 spades, don't bid 1 spade in response to partner's 1 heart opening if you have 3 hearts and a minimum responding hand, because when you then bid hearts to support partner, you are merely taking a preference. One should never confuse taking a preference with support. When you have a minimum responding hand, you support with support. You do not bid a new suit. So in this instance, one spade, one no trump by South denies 3-card support, doesn't it? North rebids 2 diamonds because he doesn't have a no trumpy hand. He has a 2-suited hand at least. South then takes a preference with a weak hand. You take a preference to partner's first bid suit unless you have considerable length in the second suit. In this case, South takes a preference. He says, well, I do have 2 spades, partner. I'll bid 2 spades for you. This is not a raise of partner suit. South is merely taking a preference. You don't balance with a double when you've got a situation like this. This is at best a 5-2 fit. Now, does the balancer ever bid again? We've talked a lot about how you balance and when you balance and all that stuff. When your partner advances at the cheapest level, you have to have a good hand to raise partner. Remember, when he advances at the cheapest level, you generally have borrowed a king from his hand to balance a lot of times. So you're not going to bid again unless you have a hand worth at least 15 or 16 points. Now, if you Q bid the opponent's suit, that should generally mean that you're looking for a stop for 3 no trump. This indicates that you have a very good hand. 18 or 19 points in general is what it would take. 1 no trump, remember, after the double, shows 15 to 17 high card points and no fit for advancer suit. No fit. If you had the standard 1 no trump opener and your partner bids a suit, say he bids a major suit, promising at least 4 of them. If you have 4 of that suit, don't bid a no trump. Let him play in his 4-4 major suit fit. How about if advancer jumps a level? This shows an invitational level hand on his part once he has subtracted out the king that you borrowed. If you have any kind of a 13-point hand, you should generally just bid the game. If you have 11 or 12, then you can raise him. But you should pass with fewer than 11 points in that, even though he jumped. Remember, you're in the balancing seat. He did not bid at his first opportunity, but it's obvious he had some values here if he jumps a level. Now, if the advancer jumped a level in a minor suit, if you have a stop in the suit that the opponent's opened, think about bidding no trump rather than raising the minor. 5 of a minor suit in this situation being successful is extremely unlikely. If you don't have enough, like if you don't have a stop in the opener suit, and you have some support for, and you should have some support for your partner's minor suit, just pass. And if the advancer jumps to 2 no trump, meaning that, hey, partner, I've got a good hand over here. I just couldn't bid before. If he jumps to 2 no trump, you should raise to 3, but notice you need 12 points, not 10. You need 12 or more. Now, let's say rather than doubling, you bid a suit. Partner raised you. Okay. First thing you need to consider, was there some competitive bidding here, or did partner just take it on himself to raise? When the opponents are bidding, your partner will stretch to bid in a competitive auction. So in that case, you don't want to hang your partner out to dry for having competed. But if he raised freely, then you can make a game try. You can by inviting in your suit or by bidding another suit where you need help. But if he bid just in a competitive situation, you need to think very strongly that that's all he's doing is just competing. If partner Q bids, then partner showing either a strong raise for your suit that you bid, or he wants to know whether you have a stopper for a possible no trump contract. Q bidding is a very strong move here. It's forcing for one round. If you have a possible stopper for a no trump contract, you can bid no trump and partner can correct back to your suit if that's what he was interested in. Or if you raise your suit, then partner will probably pass if he was looking for no trump. So here's another example of balancing. North opens a club here. I think you can see that he would do that. East and South both pass. West doubles. This board happens to be from the Saturday morning game of August 7th of last year. So West doubles. North passes. He says, well, boy, my partner doesn't even have 6 points. I just bid a club. I'm a minimum here. I got to pass. East bids one heart. Notice he's got a gun to his head. He has to bid one heart. And West says, of course you bid a heart. I only have 2 of them. But he has the right strength to rebid one no trump following that double. His hand is too strong for one no trump in the balancing seat. That bid shows only 11-14. A normal overcall of one no trump shows 15-18, which is what he has. So he doubles first and then bids one no trump. His partner says, well, good luck, partner. I've got 4 points. Maybe you can make one no trump here. He's described his hand very accurately. But even though East knows that he has 15-18 points, he can't bid on. He just doesn't have enough. I think you can see North would lead the 4 of clubs. And if all goes according to plan, West is going to make 2 no trump on this hand. 2 clubs, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 4 spade tricks. Loses a trick. He knows where most all the points are. I mean, they have to be in the North hand. So he can lead toward the queen of spades here, and North will take his king at some point, and he'll get a heart trick with the king, and South will probably get a trick with the queen. He'll get a diamond and he'll get a club trick here. So 5 tricks for the opponents and 8 for West, and that's 1 no trump making 2.
Okay, we have a question from Susie.
All right, Susie, fire away.
Okay, 2 questions. Well, it's the same question. Do you alert the 1 no trump in the balancing seat, and do you alert your Q bids?
Q bids are generally not alertable. There may be some of the more esoteric Q bids that are, but I can't think of any right now. And the balancing no trump, typically it's only opening no trumps that have to be announced because people use so many different ranges. That means that a 1 no trump overcall does not have to be announced. A 2 no trump opening doesn't have to be announced. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn, I don't think that the balancing no trump has to be announced, but if your partner's asked, of course, or your opponent's asked, you should certainly answer. Dawn, do you know, does the balancing no trump have to be announced? You're muted. I can't hear you. I don't think he realizes he's muted. All righty.
Sorry. Okay, I'm back. No, you did not have to alert it.
Okay, there. That answer? Mm-hmm. All right. 1 spade by East. Nice hand here he has. South passes, West passes, North doubles. East says, well, I'm not letting you get away with this, folks. I have a great hand over here with a nice 6-card spade suit. I'm rebidding my spades. And notice if his partner had bid, this hand is worth a jump to 3 spades if his partner bids. When his partner passes, he doesn't jump. He just bids at the cheapest level. That this indicates a strong hand. And South says, I don't care about your spades. My partner doubled here, and I have a very nice diamond suit. He's got at least 3-card support for me, I hope, and I've got enough to take a bid over your 2 spades here. So I'm bidding 3 diamonds. So, and I have outlined here how South would go about making the bid. I'm not going to go through it. You guys are as capable of reading that as I am. So, all right, here's another example, and I'm sorry that this stuff at the top here is showing. All right. Let's see. Can't see the top of this very well, but West opens a diamond here. North passes, East passes, South doubles. Look at this South hand. This has 17 points in it. He's in the balancing seat. He has a diamond stop, but the hand is too strong to bid 1 no trump here. West said, well, my partner didn't bid. I'm minimum, so I have to pass. And then partner bids 2 clubs. Clubs is my best suit. Hope you have something in clubs. East passes again. South now bids no trump at the cheapest level. He can't bid 1 no trump, so he bids 2 no trump, showing a hand that is the 15 to 17 point no trump. Now then, notice that North has 2 aces and a jack. That jack's not terribly likely to be useful, but he has 9 high card points and a 5-card suit. He knows that partner has the 15 to 17 point no trump. And most importantly, we know where all the points are, don't we? We know where absolutely everything is. He advances to 3 no trump. Now then, most of you guys that I know would lead out the ace of spades against this no trump contract. If you do that, you have set up this 10 here for South. And of course, you don't have any idea that you're doing that, but you know you've got 3 spade tricks. The issue is those spades are the only entry into your hand. You would like to set up the diamonds here for 2 or 3 tricks while you conserve the spades for entries. This spade suit does not need to be set up. It's already ready to go. Use it for entries and set up your diamonds. If you take all your spades and then try to set up some tricks in diamonds, what do you think is going to happen? Number one, your partner is never going to get the lead. You know on the auction that partner is absolutely busted. He is never going to get the lead. You're not going to get the lead again because when you lead a diamond, the declarer is going to know that that is your other suit. He is not going to lead diamonds until he absolutely has to. So you have to start on the suit that needs setting up first. Opening lead should be the queen of diamonds. You need to get 3 spade tricks and 2 diamond tricks in order to set it. So you start with the queen of diamonds, not the ace of spades. And basically I have said that I've explained the bidding, and there are 8 tricks off the top. You have a couple of possibilities on how you might set up the 9th one, and I've gone into those here. It is possible to make 3 no trump on this hand, even though West has the ability to set it if things work out for If you have any questions about this explanation, email me and I'll be glad to go into it. Here, East bids a spade. And South says, of course you bid a spade. Of course you bid a spade. Just when I really, really, really wanted to do that. Notice he does not have any action to take. He doesn't have 4 hearts. He has 6 stinking spades and he would like to double, but he's just going to hide in the weeds and wait and see what happens. West passes. North bids 2 diamonds. Well, looky here. My partner has diamonds. I have 17 points and I have the spades pretty well in hand here. I believe 3 no trump might be a good contract here. And of course, he's going to get a spade lead. He knows that. Assuming West has a spade. I mean, he doesn't know. His partner may have both missing spades. So he may not even get a spade lead. But West has one, and being the good partner that he is, he leads it. And South has 8 tricks he can count here. He's got to find one more trick somewhere. Possibilities in diamonds or in clubs. There is no possibility in hearts. Thank God the opponents didn't lead a heart. If declarer counts on the club suit breaking 3-3, that's only a 36% chance, isn't it? But one thing that we could do is before we test the diamonds and use up our only entry to the board, we can give up a trick in clubs. The way to do this is give up a trick in clubs, win any return. You still have your heart ace, you still have a spade stopper. Win any return, take the ace and king of clubs, and if they break 3-3, you can go to the board with the diamond, take your diamond winners, and then take this 13th club. If the diamonds break 3-3, then you're going to make a whole bunch of no trump, but the odds simply do not favor that. You have no way of knowing which suit is going to break 3-3, so you try the club suit first, because if you try the diamonds first and the clubs are the suit that break 3-3, you have no way to get back to this 4th club left on the board. You must play the clubs first here. That's the secret on this hand. And if the diamonds don't break, he still makes his bid, and they don't break, as you can see. Here's an example of bidding a no trump in the balancing seat and how to make the bid. I don't want to sit here and just read all of this because you guys can read this as well as I can. If you read this and anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. This is slide 20. I'm well aware that most players who are watching this don't have the card skills yet to know how to make some of these bids, and that's why I put this in here. Those of you who are more skilled at card playing probably will look at this and say, yeah, okay, so what? But if anybody has any questions about how you would play this particular hand, let me know. This hand illustrates a technique known as the obligatory finesse, and it can be very effective when you need it to be, when you're trying not to lose 2 tricks in a suit. Okay, now let's talk about another bidding scenario here. This one is a little bit.
We're getting close to time, so I don't know if you want to start a new subject.
Well, you know what? That's a good idea. Does anybody have any questions? We can stop here on slide 21 and pick up there next week. That would still give us about 11 or 12 slides to do next week. You're right, Doria. Thank you for stopping me. Does anybody have any questions about any of this? Guys, I'm not going to tell you that this is an easy thing to do. The first time I did it, I had to take not just one deep breath, but 2 or 3.
Susie, has a question. Susie?
Sorry, one more. Back here a while back in one of your examples, the direct seat, I can't remember which page it is, the direct seat later in the auction had a chance to balance. Can the direct seat ever balance?
Well, yes, because it could, if opening bidder bids 1 heart, pass, 2 hearts, pass, pass. Now he's direct seat man, but he's now in the balancing seat because the auction is threatening to die. Technically, he does not occupy the 4th chair, but he's in the balancing seat. That's an important distinction, Susie. Thank you. Yes, he definitely can. If if he has the right kind of hand, he might double, or if he's got a spade suit, particularly one that is too ratty to overcall, bidding a suit at the second time around says, well, partner, my suit was too crappy to bid here the first time around, so I'm bidding it this time. That's, if you've got 5 spades to the 8, you don't want to overcall that. But if the auction threatens to die at the 2 level, in any suit other than yours, then by all means, if you have a decent hand and just a crappy suit, bid 2 spades if that's your suit. Excellent idea. Good question, Susie. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have one? If not, I'm actually going to finish early today. Thank you, Gloria.